Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I have for you a fashion video, and this one was a highly requested one, and it's a save, splurge video for fashion, going through basic kind of categories of fashion. I'm trying to go through everything you would use both in summer and in winter and telling you whether I would spend or save on these items. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. I'm going through coats, t-shirts, jeans, basically everything I could think of. Do let me know what you think of this video, and if there's any other kind of fashion advice videos you would like to see, do let me know in the comments below. But without further ado, let's get straight into the video. But before that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you already haven't. I upload twice a week and I would love to have you back on the channel. Also, don't forget to hit the little bell right next to the subscribe button so that you get a notification every time I upload a new video. So I'm going to try and run you through every single category of clothing there is for both winter and summer, and then I'm going to try and explain whether I would spend or splurge and why I would. The general gist for me in general, I'm not going to go through very trend-based pieces for this video, but on the whole, if it's a trend-based item and it's something that I absolutely love this year, but it's not a classic, I won't tend to go and splurge on a really expensive designer piece. Just because, you know, it's something that you might love this year, but you might not want to wear it in a couple of years' time, and it's probably not worth the hefty price tag. But if it is something that's a classic, there is also a criteria I follow. So the same as I said for makeup, that, you know, stuff that goes on your skin and affects its blendability and stuff like that, I would really tend to splurge on. With clothing, for stuff that's really tailored and needs to fit very well and it's very maybe form-fitting, for those pieces I tend to splurge more on. Whereas for stuff that's kind of more loose-fitted, you can get away with something that is not as well cut. Also, with clothing, I want to talk about, there are three categories in my mind. I mean, I am gonna make this into a save splurge video, but I want to explain the three categories. And for me, it's like there is the super high-end, high-priced designer items, which are obviously fabulous. Then you've got this sort of premium high street, which is what I tend to go for when I say save. And then there are the really affordable high street stuff, in which I would include Zara, although Zara sometimes can have stuff which is sort of premium high street as well, which in my mind is more sort of Ted Baker, Reese, for Spanish brands, stuff like Adolfo Dominguez, Uterque. They are sort of very well-made pieces, good quality, but you're not paying the super crazy designer price tag just because, you know, it does have the design and it does have the quality, but you're not paying the extra premium just because it has a designer label on it. So we're going to start everything with coats, and for this one I would say it's definitely a spend category. With coats, I feel like it's a piece you're going to use time and time again. You don't necessarily have to go for the crazy super high-end designers, but I would invest in a really good quality sort of premium high street if you're going to go for that option. Obviously the designer coats are a great option, but if you're going to go for premium high street, I would go for something like All Saints or Max & Co or something like that, which is going to be kind of on the higher end of the premium high street. The reason for this is coats need to be super well fitted, they need to be super, super, super warm, and if you're not going to go for something that's really good quality, it's probably not going to be warm enough, because that's what I find with a lot of high street coats like Zara or like H&M. They have great designs, but they're not warm enough to use in the winter and they don't actually keep you warm. So I'm going to show you this piece that I have from Max & Co, and I've actually had this for about 4 or 5 years now. It's a great piece in a camel color, goes with absolutely everything. This one's a bit of an oversized coat, you can belt it or you can leave it straight, but these kind of straight coats or sort of balloon shaped coats are really great. They go with most things. They go with trousers, they go with dresses, you can belt them, you can leave them loose, and a color like a camel color or a black or a grey. Staying on the topic of coats, I'm going to talk about spring coats. So this can be either a trench coat or a more kind of summery fall spring coat. And for this one, I think you can get away with definitely saving a bit of money. This one I have is from Zara. I have a few from Adolfo Dominguez, which is like a more premium high street store. This one obviously is a very, very affordable piece. I think this one was £70. I got this spring, I think. And this one is great. Of course, it's in a super neutral color, like I absolutely love. But yeah, this one, the important thing is that it fits well around the shoulders. And Zara has actually pretty good tailoring. And if you're gonna go for tailoring from the high street, I would say ZARA is probably the best option. And the most important thing, like I said, is that it fits well. They don't need to be super warm because it's obviously for the fall or spring season, so you don't need to be really, really warm. It's just to cover you up a little bit. So the quality doesn't need to be that amazing. This one is obviously fully lined, which is something great. And I would recommend looking for that in any coat that you buy because that gives it more structure, better shape, it holds better onto your body, and it just gives it a more luxurious feel. This one is a little bit of a trend-based item because it has these sort of sleeves with the sort of flared sleeves. And obviously that is something that is really trendy right now, but it might not be on trend 2 or 3 years later. So it's not maybe worth investing in something super expensive. Moving on to dresses now. I'm gonna break that into 2 categories. And the first category is sort of more loose-fitting dresses. And for that one, I think it's definitely a safe category. Because it's not a very form-fitting item, you can definitely get away with something from the high street. And this one is a piece I have from ZARA. And I've had this one, I think, for about 4 or 5 years now, and it's still going strong. I mean, ZARA quality can be amazing sometimes. I would say just when you're buying from the high street, tend to go for fabrics that look pretty luxurious. There should be enough fabric and the fabric should feel quite thick because that makes it look a lot better quality than if it's kind of a very flimsy fabric. This one is a very straight fitting dress. The sleeves are sort of just below the elbow and then it has sort of this neck that goes a little bit high up, but it's not actually a full rollover neck. They have loads of dresses like these in ZARA, in H&M, in lots of different stores. And yeah, I think they're a great piece. You can wear this to the office, you can wear it on a night out. And these dresses have been really, really in fashion. They're very flattering on a lot of different body types. But like I said, because they don't have to be really fitted, you can definitely get away with something from the high street. Moving on to the next category of dresses right now, they are the more form-fitting dresses and probably the dresses you're gonna wear on an evening out or on a special occasion or anything that's sort of a shift dress or a bodycon dress, anything that's gonna really mark the shape of your body. And for this, I would say it's definitely a spend category. This one that I have here is from a designer called Antonino Valenti, and this one was a beautiful piece that I got from a designer boutique that does like a lot of different brands in Notting Hill. I will link their details below. They have some really beautiful, really different kind of pieces. They don't stock a lot of each piece, but they do have some really great designs. And this one is great. I mean, it's a very fitted outfit on the top. I featured this in my evening dresses collection. If you haven't seen that, I will link that on the screen now. But basically, it's like a knit dress, but it's a really special kind of knit. It's a bit stretchy, but it's kind of a really good quality thick knit, but it still looks very kind of form-fitting and beautiful. It's a bit like a bodycon dress. And then it's flared on the bottom, and it has this beautiful kind of paneling here with like this bit that is a little bit transparency and almost like mesh, like a really thick mesh. And then it has the other part, which is knit. So it creates a really beautiful effect when you're wearing a very full skirt. But this one, because it's a more sort of form-fitting dress, more bodycon on the top, you need something that's going to be really good quality, great tailoring. If it's going to be knit, it's not going to accentuate your lumps and bumps anywhere, and it's going to hug you in the right places. So I would say for more form-fitting dresses or something more tailored, I would definitely go for something that was more expensive, either designer or very high-end premium high street. Moving on to blazers now. My instinct with this one is to say it's a spend category, but I have to admit that you can get some good pieces on the high street as well. So on this one, I have to say I'm on the fence about it. My piece of choice is this Balmain blazer, and I have worn this to death. It's one of my most worn pieces in my wardrobe, especially in winter. It's quite thick, so it's really, really warm, and with a gilet, it can actually replace a coat. Obviously, the fitting is fabulous, and with a blazer, that is the most important thing, the tailoring. This one has great fit around the shoulders. It has the really signature kind of Balmain, really structured shoulders, and it fits beautifully around here because I find that a lot of blazers that are from the high street, a more cheaper version, can leave you feeling like it's gaping here. They don't fit that well around the waist. This one obviously has these beautiful cuts here, which makes it fit really, really well around the waist. The fabric is wonderful, it holds its shape, really structured, and very, very good quality. And with a blazer, I have to say the most important thing is that the lapels sit nicely, they don't sort of gape, that it fits nicely around the waist, but most importantly, that the shoulders fit really nicely. Having said that, I have to say that the high street can sometimes have really good pieces, and this piece that I'm wearing right now is from Massimo Dutti, and it's a great jacket. Massimo Dutti's do some really good ones. This one is a more oversized jacket, so it doesn't need to fit that well around the waist. I have belted it here, but even when you leave it loose, it's sort of more straight fitting because it's a very like on-trend blazer, which is kind of long line and not so fitted, more kind of a masculine fit. So because the shoulders fit really well, they have good shoulder pads, and ZARA do good shoulder shoulder pads as well. You can get away with it being from the high street, and it actually looks really good, and it actually fit me better than a high-end one that was very similar to this. But for blazers that are more fitted, like the Balmain one, I would say high-end is better because they fit better around the waist, and I find that no high street one can replace that. I've never found one that fits well around the waist. My Zara ones are great to kind of leave them open, and if they're going to be quite straight, then like I said, it doesn't make so much of a difference. You just need to focus on the shoulders. And for shoulders, I would say Ted Baker, Massimo Dutti, and Zara all do great blazers that fit really well around here, but I would tend to go for more kind of oversized or kind of masculine fit blazers as opposed to something that's really tailored and cinched in at the waist, because for those, I think designer is definitely the way to go. Moving now on to jumpers, I'm going to split this into two categories, and it sort of follows the same theory I've applied before. I'm firstly going to go in with more fitted jumpers, and for this one I would say either really high-end premium high street or designer would definitely be the way to go, something which would be definitely a splurge category. This one I have here is from Rag & Bone, and if you get it on the sale you can actually get pretty good prices for these, and this one is beautiful. It has a more sort of knit finish on the front, and then it has this sort of stretchy knit with a bit of lycra at the back, and this is a more fitted jumper that is great to wear under blazers, and these ones I would say is a splurge category because around here I find that the ones from the high street tend to stretch out and they don't fit that well around your neckline, especially if it's a crew neck jumper. So I would say going for something that's a bit more high-end like Club Monaco or Rag & Bone, or something that's obviously completely designer like a Dolce & Gabbana, just fits so much better than something from the high street. Moving now on to more sort of oversized, chunky knit, loose fitting jumpers, I would say this one is definitely a safe category. I want to show you this one that I have from FC UK, and this one is sort of a cape style jumper. It's a really thick, chunky knit. It's actually really warm and really soft, surprisingly, because these kind of jumpers I find tend to be really itchy, and this one isn't at all. It's really great. It's super warm. I wear it so much over a shirt or with a t-shirt underneath. You can wear it with or without a coat depending on how cold it is where you are. But these kind of jumpers, like I said, as long as the knit is good and thick, especially if you go for something that's got a bit of cashmere, John Lewis do some great ones. I've featured a lot of these in my recent wish list video from premium high street stuff, and there's some great ones out there. There's good ones in Massimo Dutti, there's good ones in places like Club Monaco, which I guess is a bit more high-end premium high street, but you can get them in a lot of places. FC UK does really good stuff as well. Even Zara does good cashmere. So you can get this in a lot of places, and I'd say as long as it's a good thick chunky knit. These ones are not very form-fitting, so it's a bit of a loose fit. You can get away with something that's not as perfectly tailored, and you can save a few pennies on these ones. Moving now on to t-shirts, I would say this is again an absolute save category. I am recently really into white t-shirts, and I'm going to show you this one that I have here from Topshop that I recently got. And it's a great white tee, super staple. This one has a really good cotton actually, fits really nicely. It's kind of a straight fitting, kind of very masculine fitting t-shirt. And I find these so versatile. I wear it so much with jeans, with trousers, even under a suit. They can look really good if you want to give it a kind of more modern young vibe. I'd say it's an absolute staple. I'm really into these right now, and you can definitely get away with getting one from the high street. I would say the things to look out for is to look for good cotton that's not too see-through and that's going to sit well and look like the fabric is good quality, and that's absolutely it. You can definitely save a few pennies on these ones, and I would say a white tee is an absolute must. If you like it more oversized or you like it more fitted, that's absolutely up to you, but definitely a must-have in every woman's wardrobe. Staying on sort of the topic of sort of tops and t-shirts, a camisole is an absolute must-have for everyone. I love to wear mine under blazers, but they're also great if you want to wear it under a knit, or if you actually just want to wear it by itself in the summer with a pair of jeans and look for kind of sexy. And I would say this one is definitely a safe category. Massimo Dutti do some great ones. This one is actually from Zara, and this one, believe it or not, was actually I think like £6, and it's great. It's got like a satiny front, and then it's got a more sort of stretchy cottony bit at the back. It's just a basic camisole, but it's so useful. I find that I wear these so much that I actually can't keep them for a long time because I keep washing them, and they just kind of just get old and you need to throw it away. So I think it's not worth spending a whole lot of money on these. You can get some great ones, like I said. This year Massimo Dutti do some really nice ones with like a lace around the neckline. I featured this in my wish list video as well, and they're absolutely great. They go so well. You're not going to show this one off that much, to be honest. Most of the time it'll be under a blazer as well. So I think this one is definitely a safe category. Moving now on to tops. I think this one again is a safe category. They do some great tops in the high street. And this one has been a favorite for a long time. And this one is from ZARA. It's sort of a blousey material. In this top section, I would include blouses as well. So anything that's a blouse or a more kind of top like this that doesn't actually have any kind of collar on the top, I would qualify it in this section. Now I would say definitely the high street is the way to go for this. Again, like I said, try to get a fabric that's a little bit thicker, that looks a little bit more luxurious, that is not kind of too see-through, but again, TOPSHOP do some great ones, Massimo Dutti do great ones, Adolfo Dominguez do really, really lovely blouses, and so do places like Uterque and ZARA and stuff like that, so you can definitely get away with something from the high street. Moving now on to shirts. This one for me is a definite spend category. I find with shirts, you can definitely tell when they're cheaper, especially because of the collar. A lot of the cheap ones, the collar doesn't fit that well. It sort of gapes or it flaps or it's just too small. And I find I can really, really tell. It's quite a tailored piece, so you can definitely tell if it's not very good quality. I have this one, which is a bit of an oversized shirt from Max Mara, and I absolutely love it. I've worn it loads. It's a staple kind of poplin white shirt. It has a beautiful collar. It sits really nicely. And yeah, but obviously I have a lot of kind of white ones that are more form-fitting. Blue ones tend to go for kind of neutral colors, so you can pair it a lot. But I would say this one is definitely a category that even though you end up washing these a lot and you end up not being able to use them for a very, very long time, I would definitely spend on something that's either very premium high street or designer. Moving on to my final category of trousers, I'm going to start everything off with tailored trousers, and I would say for these ones I would definitely go for the safe category. These ones are both from premium high street stores. This one is from a Spanish brand called Dolores Promesas, and these are my white Palazzo trousers, which I did a video styling up, so I will link those on the screen now if you haven't seen them. And these ones are from CLAUDIE PIERLOT. They're sort of pencil fitting trousers. They're more kind of tailored at the bottom and they have pleats on the top. So I would say for these kind of trousers, which are kind of tailored trousers, I would go for premium high street, but I don't think you need to splurge on designer wear. I would say the high street doesn't really cut it for me. I would go for premium high street on these ones. So something like Adolfo Dominguez, Uterque, CLAUDIE PIERLOT. And I think, you know, brands like ZARA do really, really good ones, but I just find that the fit is just not great, especially for me because I'm really, really narrow on my hips. So I find that it's really difficult to find a good fit for me. But brands even like Massimo Dutti do some really great ones. So I think you can find good tailoring on the high street. And finally, for my final category, denim. I would say this one is a definite splurge category. I find that high street denim just doesn't fit the way that high-end denim fits. High-end denim like from Rag & Bone or ACNE Studios, or even brands like Levi's, which I guess is still designer, it's still not kind of high street. They just fit so beautifully. They fit so well around the top area. They just sit well on your knees. They really, really emphasize on the right places on your body. They hug you in the right places. And I think it's absolutely worth the money. And I find that denim lasts for a really, really long time. They're a bit of a rough kind of fabric. So you can definitely kind of, you know, use it time and time again, wash it time and time again, and they will last for years. So it's definitely worth spending a little bit of extra money on. These are the Skin 5 from ACNE, and I find that they absolutely fit perfectly, especially for my body type. Obviously, jeans is something that you need to try on. Everyone has a different body type and you have to find the brand that suits yours. But I find that they're just great. I have these in a few different colors. I have them in blue denim, this one in black, I have it in white, and they last me for at least 5 or 6 years. So it's definitely worth the extra money. And they're not that expensive. I mean, I think they're about the £250 mark. So they are definitely pricier than something like TOPSHOP, but they are such good quality, they last for such a long time, and they just make your body look absolutely marvelous. Okay guys, well that was everything from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was useful. I know a lot of you requested this video. You wanted to see what I would spend and what I would save on. I hope it gave you a little bit of inspiration. Do let me know if you want to see your kind of fashion staples, something about what everybody should own and have in their wardrobe. I can do that video very soon for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.